Feminism? Oh, the movement that pushes women into hookup culture, puts them on birth control, makes them work for their 20s and 30s for a boss that doesn't care about them? No, thank you.
I just died of your arms tonight.
So, you know, things have changed significantly where I think young men nowadays, I feel for them, man. I think they're absolutely getting, they have way less options and it's way harder for them to meet a woman versus for us, right? Because we come from the same generation. We're millennials. These Gen Zers, these guys are cooked, man.
Bro. So I just finished having dinner. I took myself to Applebee's. I'm just looking around my surroundings. I look to the left. I see a black man with a white woman. I look to the right. I see a black man with a white woman. What do I see? What do I notice all at the bar? Single black women. So it got me to thinking, are black men like totally giving up on black women?
No, but look where you at. You at Applebee's. I thought women didn't want to go to Applebee's, or sisters didn't want to go to Applebee's.
Let me tell y'all something. Women respect men that they can't get over on. So to all you guys that's sending the Zelles and sending the Cash Apps and tricking hard without getting nothing in return, congratulations, you're a simp. Because ultimately, women are attracted to men that have boundaries, that stand their ground, that tell them, no, that's not happening. You want to know why? Because you're a man. And if she can't trick you, she know nobody else can.
A lot of these modern women continue to say silly stuff and talk about how men are intimidated by their success and their lifestyle, and it's not really that. I'm just uninterested is really what it is. It's two different things. I'm uninterested and I don't want to be bothered by that foolish.
If you are a young woman and you're single and you're wondering, where did all the good guys go? Where are they? What's going on? I'll tell you where they are. They're all flocking to the Orthodox Church. In droves, they're just all going. I can't even tell you the number of single guys that are absolutely wonderful at my church. I'm married. If I wasn't, that's the first place that I would look, is the Orthodox Church. So I don't know who needed to hear that, but I hope that's helpful. And they're great. They're all wonderful. They're all lovely. And the church is, well, come and see.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
You said men signed up to take estrogen and they all quit within 3 days because they felt crazy from all the input from the environment.
Because of testosterone in a committed state of mind, once a man commits, it screens out everything considered irrelevant. This is single focus. This is what testosterone does to the brain, creates a committed state of mind. If you think about a hunter, there's a deer. Deer. He doesn't go, is there a better deer behind it? So if you want to hide food from men, you just put it in like the second or third row. They're just going to look at what's in the front row. This is what's in the refrigerator, everything that's in the front row. Single focus. And it drives us. We'll roll our eyes and tisk and mumble and he's just focused, getting it done. He doesn't even hear it. But we think he did hear it and he's ignoring me.
Yes. Which then
because he disrespects me.
Correct.
Yes. And now we're really pissed. This is why we have to like roll it all back. What if we're just different?
You know, men are not really they're not really scared to approach. But a lot of times, if you continue to treat me like a problem, I'm not going to be around you. That's just the long and short of it. You're a bum. You act like a bum. I don't want to be around a bum. That's simple.
Man opens the door for a woman, or he pulls a chair for a woman to sit. It is neither equality nor chauvinism. It is chivalry. And chivalry is not up to today. And I'm proud of all the men on earth. Thank you.
Chivalry versus chauvinism. अगर कोई मेल किसी फीमेल के लिए पुल करता है चेयर और इस माइंडसेट से करता है कि आई एम सुपीरियर, देन दैट इज chauvinism. उसे कम समझना विमेन को, और अगर वो पोलाइटनेस, कर्टसी दिखाने के लिए, रिस्पेक्ट दिखाने के लिए करता है, तो दैट इज chivalry. It was so beautifully explained by this woman. Am I right? If you understood, make a sentence and let me know in the comments.
If you're asking a man to do something, any man of any age, and I don't care if they're this big or this big, when they've said yes to doing it, then you could ask, so what would be my part to set you up to win? And just those words, like, how can I set you up to win? Have I set you up to win? Is there something you need to be set up to win? Those are their words. And one of the mistakes that women make is we think if a man fails, that makes him try harder. And especially if we let them know how upset we are, that they'll double down. No. They're wired the opposite. Only spend time and energy and resources on things you can win at.
You know, once people, I can't even say men in general, but once people stop being appreciated, they generally don't stay. And if they do stay, they're kind of like on autopilot. And that's what's happening to a lot of men in these relationships where women just not really appreciative.
45 to 50% of men nowadays, like ages 18 to 25, are scared to approach a woman. Mainly them reporting that they're worried they're going to come off as creepy, like women are going to find them creepy, which is why obviously we have more of like the shift to cuffed or hinge, because I think on both sides people feel like you can maybe get to know a person a little bit better than like maybe having some sort of awkward interaction in person. I think it's good that we have options, right? Like people can do the dating app, or maybe if you're a little bit more confident to approach someone, like you can do that in person. But it is kind of crazy that almost like half the men out there just don't want to do it. It's wild.
Personal vows are always a nice touch when two people get married, but a Dallas groom went even further when he said "I do" to his wife in 2 languages at the same time. He communicated in both English and ASL so his new in-laws would understand.
You know, once people, I can't even say men in general, but once people stop being appreciated, they generally don't stay. And if they do stay, they're kind of like on autopilot. And that's what's happening to a lot of men in these relationships where women just not really appreciative.
95% of all women in today's world are stuck in survival mode because feminist movement's amazing for a lot of things. Yes, we get to work. Yes, we get to have equal rights. Yes. There's still a lot of work to do. And we are still in this very gray area right now where women have stepped into a man's world and said, hey, we can too. And so now men are really having to learn, oh, I've got to actually shift into this new dynamic as well to create equality in the home. And it's not like 50-50, but finding what works for you as partners. And it's hard. We're all learning how to be in this brand new dynamic where women are playing both roles, masculine and feminine, and good at it too, right? And now men are learning how to be in their healthy feminine and healthy masculine as well.
Is it wrong for a person to want to have clout?
I don't think it's wrong for a person to want anything. I think you want what you want. Now, if that validates who you are as a human because you have clout, that's a problem. Okay. That's a lack in self-love and self-worth. Because clout is just influence. I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to have influence. But I do think that if your world comes crashing down because you don't have the influence that you want, or you feel like now you're inadequate or you're not enough, or, you know, any of the 10,000 things that come up in a negative aspect, then that's a problem. You got work to do.
Okay. Do you believe in key consumerism? Like key cars, buying certain cars to get you in certain rooms, having certain luxury bags.
No, but I'm a woman. I don't have to pay to play. That's a man's game.
Is it really?
I think so. I don't have to pay to play, nor would I. For me, I also believe that because I believe that I deserve all of those things on an energetic level, God blesses me with them. Because a lot of the rooms I'm in, you can't even pay to get into.
You have a lot of brothers that are steady. They show up, they plan everything. And yet these modern women are still complaining. You know, and they complain and they complain and they nag and they nag. And once a man stops answering, once a man stops, man loses interest, honestly. Then all of a sudden it's, oh man, oh God, he just fell out of love with me. The relationship, how could it even come to this?
My experience and my observation is that most women are men in skirts, meaning that the way their presence, their being, the way we roll in the world, it's very masculine because we've been conditioned and programmed out of our feminines. And when I say, I don't mean feminist movement in the world, I want to be a fireman or a football player. I'm talking about, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how to be a woman in your being What is the distinction between feminine power and masculine power? And we've been conditioned and trained to be men in skirts. We do everything like men. We compete like men. I said this on the R Spot a few weeks ago. I said, most women want their boyfriend to act like their girlfriend, chatting, shopping. But when the man comes home, what they meet is another dude.
I asked for one thing for my birthday. I wanted a cake with candles. And I told my husband this. And a couple of times he asked me what kind of cake I wanted. And both times I said, you know what? I make so many decisions. I really just want to have to not think about it. I like anything. So this isn't some kind of test or challenge. Like literally just get whatever kind of cake and I'll be happy. And he doesn't like decisions. And so he had a hard time with that. But he did it. He did it. And so this is my birthday cake. This is my birthday cake. It's a dinosaur, but it kind of looks like an alligator, which is why he got it, because my daughter loves alligators.
From what I gather, that man did exactly what was asked of him. And your daughter definitely has her daddy wrapped around her little finger because she got what she wanted. And what she wanted is exactly what she thinks that her mommy wants. It's so sweet. And look, no shade to this creator because she ends up saying that she loves the cake, but that is not everyone's opinion in the comments, unfortunately. This is what happens when you put something out there that you think is positive about your relationship on social media, is that somebody always out there has something negative to nitpick about it and say about it. And unfortunately, that happens so often when women are putting out there something positive about something that their man did for them. Bottom line is that when it happens to a good man in a good relationship, it's kind of messed up.
Men get the honor and the pleasure. They get the honor and the pleasure of being able to see their kids on the weekends. They get the honor and the pleasure of a woman going to court and lying. Of a modern woman going to court and saying, oh, he's making this much. Raise the child support. Raise the alimony. Let me take more of his money. That's what you get with these modern women when you marry them. God, dog.
So the question is, why are there so many single people who are not interested in dating? And ladies, we got these men shook because all they hear is how much money they should be spending on these dates. So look, if you got a $300 minimum that you feel like a man should be spending on a date, and the man take out 2 women in 1 week with that same mentality, that's $600 that he spent on dates with women that he don't even know that he like yet. And understand that a rich man will spend the money because he'll spend as much as necessary to get what it is that he wants from you because he got it. So our focus should be, is he a protector? Is he a provider? How does he treat his kids? How do he treat his mama? It's so many other things that we could be focused on. Now, there is a caveat. Men, if you broke, you shouldn't be dating. Let's just start there. Women, same thing. If you broke, you shouldn't be dating. Get your life together first. So if you built a lifestyle and you are able to afford a lifestyle of your own, I am not saying go get you a man and find you a man who is broke, but the focus should not be how much he can spend on dates. The focus should be everything that has to do everything with his personality and how he treats you. What y'all think about that?
A lot of men are not approaching because they learn their lesson, right? Try being a gentleman, learn my lesson. Try being, the good guy, the stable guy. I learned my lesson. Try to be assertive. Try to be vulnerable. I learned my lesson. In all of these situations, modern women are continuing to ruin the dating market with their...
Has anyone here ever received flowers on a first date? I feel like no one, and I mean no one, does this nowadays. I would actually melt.
I have, and while I loved and appreciated it, it also felt like too much. You don't know these people when you go on a first date with them. And if you think about it, first dates get really expensive for a lot of men. It's not just, oh, they go on one date, they find their perfect woman, they marry her, they date her, whatever. It doesn't usually work that way. He has to go on 10, 20, 30 dates to get a girlfriend, one. And well, yeah, the flowers are sweet, and it's like, they're beautiful, and you're excited, and you melt. Yes. The scary thing is, when you go on that first date, if you realize this man is not your man, he's not a good fit for you, What sucks is you take home those flowers and, you display them, you're happy about them. But then there's that ridiculous amount of guilt where you're like, okay, this man isn't right for me. I'm going to ultimately turn him down. And then you feel even more guilty because he might have just spent $50 on a dinner for you or more than that. And now if he took you to a coffee, that might be a little bit better. But if you're expecting like a decent bouquet of flowers, that could be $20-$30. Unless you're okay with maybe, a gas station rose that maybe cost, how much do those cost? Like $3, something like that? Even then, that still is a lot of effort for someone you don't even know yet. And for a lot of women, that might feel like too much too soon. So while it sounds great in the moment, unless this man ends up being absolutely perfect for you, sometimes it can be just kind of a bad gesture overall and too much. Even if he is a good fit, you don't value those flowers as much because, again, you don't know this person. When you get to know someone and you're in a relationship long term, flowers can be a lot more meaningful.
These modern women don't understand that there have been times in the past that you do something, a man will help you. But now a man is starting to realize you need to take accountability. There has to be consequences for your actions. I'm no longer a fixer. That's your choice. You handle that. And then you come back to the relationship and we'll talk about it. But a lot of modern women, they want a man to just cover everything. Absolutely not.
5 signs you're dating a man who's a husband material. First, he takes accountability. ஒரு ப்ராப்ளம் வருது அப்படின்னா நீ தான் அப்படின்ட்டு blame பண்ணாம how I can repair it, what I can do for you அப்படின்ற accountability எடுத்துக்கிறாங்க. Second, he is consistent. அவங்களோட எனர்ஜி வந்துட்டு நல்ல நாள் அப்போ நல்லா இருக்க மாதிரியோ ugly daysஓ இல்ல bad days அப்போ வந்துட்டு எனக்கு மூட் இல்லை அப்படின்ட்டு இல்லாம ரொம்ப கன்சிஸ்டன்டா இருக்கும் அவங்களோட எனர்ஜி. அவங்க போடுற எஃபர்ட்ஸ் இந்த ரிலேஷன்ஷிப் வந்து ரொம்ப கன்சிஸ்டன்டா இருக்கும் நமக்கு. Third, he can handle difficult conversation. ஒரு ரொம்ப கஷ்டமான ஒரு சிச்சுவேஷன் வரும்போது அவங்க அங்கிருந்து ஷட் டவுனும் ஆகாம பிளேமும் பண்ணாம நம்ம கூட உட்கார்ந்து நம்மள அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணி ரிஃப்ளெக்ட் பண்றதுக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்ணுவாங்க. Fourth, he respects your individuality. நீங்க வந்து உங்களை ஷ்ரிங்க் பண்ணி அந்த ரிலேஷன்ஷிப்குள்ள இருக்கணும்னு இல்ல, நீங்களாவே இருக்கலாம் அந்த ரிலேஷன்ஷிப்ல. Fifth, very important, they think long term. ஒரு டெசிஷன் எடுக்கும் போது நம்மளையும் சேர்த்து யோசிச்சு அந்த டெசிஷன் எடுக்கணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி யோசிப்பாங்க. எமோஷனலின்னு கிடையாது, பிராக்டிகலியுமே கூட. இந்த 5 சைன் உங்களோட பொட்டன்ஷியல் பார்ட்னர் கிட்ட இருக்கு அப்படின்னா இட்ஸ் a big green flag.
For a lot of these men, they go on these dates and they realize that this date is actually kind of sort of a photo shoot. Like he's the content. And once he realizes that, then the date is pretty much done. Y'all are using these men as a way to increase your followers. And the man realizes, oh, you don't really like me. You're just going to put me as content. And there's not really even any spark or connection. And that's when men start to say, oh, you're only using me for a foodie call. You're using me for content.
Yeah, I get to watch him with his new wife and his new life just flourish without me. He's doing so well. He's doing great in his business. He's doing great in school. He's just amazing. He's a great guy. And I get to watch that from the back room. And it's hard. Sometimes it stings. Sometimes it still stings. But, I'm happy for him. And, I love him as my family. And I want nothing but the best for him. So now I relocated to a different state, me and my daughter. And 2 years ago, and I just started over. I'm dating, and it's different. It's difficult. I got married. It's trash. It's trash. Okay, it's trash. I said it's difficult. It's really trash. Yeah, it's definitely trash. The streets. it's trash. They say the dating pool has pee in it. I say it's straight sewage. It's not even a pool. It's sewage. Seriously. Oh my God. I hate it for everybody that has to be out here dating. I don't recommend it. 0 stars, not even a half.
What are your thoughts? Comment below.
If your man woke you up at 2 a.m., he said, baby, can you cook me a meal? Would you cook your man a meal if he woke you up at 2 a.m.?
No. Just being honest.
What about you, Kiki?
It all depends on how I'm feeling.
All right, it depends.
Oh, another depends.
It depends on the situation.
Here's another question. If an intruder broke inside the house, would you or would you not expect your man to go downstairs and handle that break at the door? Natasha.
Absolutely.
Allie.
Yes.
Kiki.
All I'm saying is if you don't, it's over after that.
Yeah, I would expect that.
What I've heard was that a woman's wifey duty is based off her feelings, right? It depends on how how I feel. But the man's duty of protecting you, it's mandatory. How is it a fair deal?
These are so different. Like,
Yeah,
one is like
they're
you're in the
not.
same
They're
situation. It's
not.
like you're both about to die, maybe. Right. And if you don't
And the
do
other
it,
one
you're
is
gonna
you
die
might not
too.
eat.
So it's not about the situation. It's about what the man is attracted to, and it's about what the woman is attracted to. The man is attracted to femininity, submissiveness. The woman is attracted to masculinity, protecting and providing. So if you're not giving what we are naturally attracted to, it's not a fair deal if we have to always give you what you're naturally attracted to. That's going to protect you. Make sense?
When I'm dating someone, what gives me the ick is when a guy doesn't do like, I guess like traditional like gentleman stuff, like open the door for me or pay for the first meal and stuff like that. I'm kind of into all that stuff, so I feel like it's more of like a respect thing. Like if you just kind of start with being like a gentleman.
What do you see as the role both a man can have with a woman and vice versa, but the tunnel of prince becoming king, you know, and maybe a princess becoming queen? What is that tunnel and how we can really support each other and the evolution of who we're becoming?
I'm chuckling because I wondered if you're aware of the stages of development. And, but may I say something about competition first?
Sure.
Okay. I do a couple hours on this, so I'm just going to cut to the chase. Remember when I was talking about discerning me and not me? One of the consequences of seeing me, sameness, if you see sameness, and it's an equation. Sameness plus scarcity equals competition. I call it game on. And it's all perception. Perception of sameness plus a perception of scarcity, game on. Sibling rivalry. Whatever's perceived as scarce, some families it's food. Some families it's approval. Some families it's support or resources or attention, right? But the more same, a boy and a girl have a better chance than two brothers or two sisters, right? Identical twins. I'm sorry. Right? So, I mean, we can disconnect competition in any situation just by looking for how are we unique? How are we complementary? And is this really scarce? Seriously? Isn't there enough? Doesn't have to even be abundant. It just has to be enough. And then it's over. But what you're speaking to is one of the reasons why I encourage people to not be afraid of age differences. Because when there's a certain kind of age difference can make it okay. For example, for someone to be more successful than another person. Well, Greg was almost 11 years older than me. He was situated, right? And he had a lot of space to support me in finding my way.
I told one young man, I said, he's looking for a wife. I said, let me tell you something. How you going to find a wife? When you tell a wife, when you list your desires and say something that you want to do, the woman that's your wife will pick it up and already get ideas and present it back to you. If none of the women can hear what you say, none of them are your wives and you need to leave them alone. The woman that is supposed to be for him will hear what he wants to accomplish, pick it up, research it, come back and say, okay, here's some options.
Another red flag, I think, is just the chivalry. Like, why is it dead? I don't, like, where'd it go? I don't understand. Why am I paying for our meal on our first date, you know? And I don't know. I mean, society.
Okay, wait, so go back. What do you mean? How many dates have you paid for?
No, more than I'd like to admit, but why?
Did you go like 50-50 or like what?
Some of them. I think that, there was one I totally paid for both, yeah. And a couple that were 50-50, but I was always like, this is just not, I don't know. It's different. People don't, society's different. It's not an obvious, I'm going to go out and get my dinner paid for. It's just not obvious anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I know how hard dating is and chivalry is. We've gotten here because we've distorted roles and we've let society discipline us way too much, and we've disconnected from God a lot, and women are taking so much of the responsibility out of men, and men are starting to feel very comfortable.
My single ladies in your 30s, mid-30s more so, how are you all doing? Are we finding that it's a very wild place out here? Hear me out. Where are all the actual men that are our age? Where are all the mid-30s, late 30s, even early 40s guys? Where are they? Because tell me why I'm getting moved to by guys in their 20s, lads in their 20s, or guys in their late 50s. Where is all the in-between? If anybody knows, please tell me.
This conversation is specifically for Black women because there's a pattern that I've been pointing out for a long time now, where certain social media voices are giving advice that they themselves do not follow. And the consequences of that are showing up in real life for Black women. So before we even get into the clips, let's establish reality, because that's what this video is all about. In the United States, over 50% of white women are currently married, over half. Meanwhile, Black women have the lowest marriage rate among any race and gender group, around 29%. Black men, around 36%, which creates a 7% gap, the largest gender gap among any race gender group. And within that 36% of Black men who are married, about 22% are married to non-Black women, which is up from around 15% just a few years ago. So what that tells you is this: marriage is still happening for Black men, but the outcomes are not the same across the groups, and especially for Black women. So when you hear advice about marriage, especially advice telling you not to participate at all, you need to evaluate that advice against real world outcomes and not just how it sounds online. Because realistically, what's happening is this: white women like MJ Gray are taking Black women's money, feeding you what you want to hear, and then they turn around and do the exact opposite. And I wouldn't be surprised if that was the ultimate goal in the first place. And the reason why they do that is because they know that Black women will listen.
A man doesn't want a dictatorial woman in his home. The less feminine you are, the more you're going to struggle, the more you're going to be fighting against the biological tide rather than working with it. So what does that look like? First of all, being softer. When you first dated, I guarantee you exuded softness and receptivity. That's how you got them. You immediately went into your feminine because we kind of instinctually know how to do that. But something tends to happen over time. And we've all been there, and it's not anything to feel bad about. It's just to have an awareness of, look, here's what works and here's what doesn't. And if you want to go in the positive direction, think back to when it was easy, and whatever you employed then, do it again.
Basically saying, date your husband.
Yeah.
Be his girlfriend.
Be his girlfriend.
Not his boss.
Not his boss. Whatever it is that you're doing during the day with your kids or at your job, let that be there and learn how to switch gears when you come home at night.
Why my standards in men are so high. I'm dating, when I'm talking to a man, in my male friends, all of it is so high because I was raised by a man that quite literally would drive 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours at midnight with a busy day tomorrow to pick me up if I needed it. Every time I come home and my gas is low, not full to the brim, my dad's filling it up. A man in my life forever doing all of these things. He called me the prettiest girl in the world. I grew up thinking I was the prettiest girl in the world, along with my sister and my mom and my female dog. But I grew up with that standard. I grew up with, if I came home with bags, before I could even look to pick it up and bring it upstairs to my room, it would already be in my room because he would do that for me. There is this expectation a lot of us have lost, and that our boundaries aren't there for men to not open the doors, for men to not need to take your stuff, can't even roll your bag when you're in the airport. There is so pay for your dinner. Now they want to split it. I understand that women need to come in with doing things on their end as well, because you're only going to get what you're giving in some way, shape, or form. But if I'm giving you respect, children, love, care, emotional support, physical support, and I should be treated chivalrous. The men in my life that are just friends, quite literally, would do anything. Crying or having a tough day, they will ask. They will pay for a meal. They will not let me carry my bag upstairs. They will still do it, not thinking that they're getting anything from me. That's the type of men I surround myself with.
All right, I don't know how I got here, but I am now on the princess treatment side of TikTok, where all these men are saying, like, your girl shouldn't work at all, she should never have to pay a bill, there's no such thing as 50-50, and I treat my woman with gifts every day and pay all of her bills. The only thing she should have to worry about is looking pretty, getting her nails done. And where are these men? Because they don't exist where I live, and where do I sign up? I need one of those men, because that is literally what I deserve in life. So if anybody knows where to find these men, leave it in the comments, because I need to know.
I made a video about how men are not really asking women any questions when they take them on dates. And a lot of the comments were like, yeah, I just stopped talking because, if they're not asking me questions back, I just stop asking them questions and then we sit in silence. My issue, I don't like silence at all. I don't like it at all. Like when I wake up in the morning, I immediately put on music or podcast. And that's definitely because I can't be alone with my own thoughts, but that's a TikTok for another time. So for me, if I stop asking the guy questions and he's not asking me anything and there's silence, I start to panic, and then I'll go in again and I'll ask him a follow-up question about his boring commercial real estate job. I'll say, do you have to go to the office every day? Do you like that? Oh, no, tell me again about your brother's golf tournament. And then the irony is the guy always thinks that the date was amazing because I've given him a combination of a Netflix comedy special and free therapy. And he thinks it was fantastic and I'm exhausted.
Where are all the good men? A lot of them have been lost along the way, and a lot of them are stuck in a men's mental health crisis where there is no help coming, or at least they think so. A lot of them have been told that their feelings don't matter. A lot of them have shared vulnerably and told they were weak. A lot of them have had their deepest, darkest moments weaponized against them. So they're not going to speak out again. They're never going to allow that to happen. So where are all the good men? A lot of them are locked away and sealed in silence because of the people in their lives and the things that they've experienced. When they saw that no help was coming, they learned to shut down. They learned to be quiet. They learned to hide away. So the good men, they're still here. It's just that most people don't see them because most people don't provide a safe space for them.
It don't matter how old a man gets, he's always gonna have options. Younger, finer, fitter, willing. They wasted all their time telling all these good men, oh no, you're not my type, and you too broke for me. Y'all brag about the fact that y'all don't cook. You brag about the fact that you're not cleaning for nobody. You brag about the fact that you're selfish. You brag about all these things that are contrary to what a man wants. What happens is they start approaching that wall. Once they are approaching that wall, or once they hit it, they already got kids. They're not in their prime anymore. And then they get frustrated and try to convince other women that they also don't need men because now they no longer qualify. Now what are you left with? You're broken, used, washed up, your self-worth, your dignity, all of that done gone. Now what you gonna do? You love talking about yourself and you can do bad out by yourself and it's all about me and because I'm the one, because I'm the prize. Where are your results then? If you're the prize, who's the prize winner? If you're the prize, Where is the collector of the prize?
In the world of dating, the biggest enemy young men have is not women or the dating advice that is floating around. It's older men and who keep on giving bad advice to young men so that they constantly fail in dating women and then blame women so that older men can have it. And you guys don't understand that young men are put up to fail. The way older women guide younger women on how to navigate dating and what to look out for, what are the red flags and green flags, older men do the exact opposite. They try to eliminate the competition because they know a younger man has more stamina and he has more to offer because of youth. So they realize that only power and money can play in their favor. But if they can trick younger men into hating younger women, then they get access to all the younger girls and the young men get left behind, just paying for courses and listening to these older men, while all the older men act like gentlemen and with their money attract all the younger girls and keep them to them. They act chivalrous, they act nice, they load them with gifts, but they keep telling the younger men to not go for her. And this is resource hoarding. You see older men do it all the time, where they purposefully give young guys bad dating advice and set them up to fail. If you're a younger guy listening to this and you actually want to succeed in dating or get your dream girl, listen to what the women are saying on what they want, and that is your key to success, not another alpha male podcaster who's going to tell you how he gets all these chicks.
My husband's home. I'm going to do a rear facing camera because if I have it here next to my tripod, he's going to see it and it's not going to be authentic. I'm cooking dinner. I'm in the worst mood because I'm in the kitchen and I hate it. And I'm going to see if he can make me be in a better mood because when he comes in, he does tend to be very touchy-feely. I'm going to turn the camera around, but I am going to have it leaned up sort of incognito. Oh, crap. I did 10 minutes. I don't know how long it takes him to get out of the car. So shh, be quiet. I don't even know if this is an angle. Do I look like a happy housewife? I hate cooking. What's taking him so long? I get so nervous. Hi. How was your day?
Good, man. Little dad.
He's upstairs. He's also upstairs. I love you. Love you, babe.
Love you too.
The food should be ready soon.
You know, the men are starting to see, and this is why they're opting out. This is why a lot of men are going their own way. They're starting to see when you go into a lot of these spaces, whether it's a curated space for dating or an event or a space where you just meet them out in public, out in the wild, quote unquote. You know, it's not really something that's a safe space for men. You know, one wrong word, even if I was nervous, men don't really have like a safety net, right? Even if I was nervous, I come out there and say something, and I'm like, oh no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. These modern women are crucifying them on the spot.